terrific. I really appreciated our time.
Lakes and sunshine and wine.
Not an easy topic, but well worth the discussion.
This is where I wave, right? Like this.
You got it. You've nailed it already.
Yes.
Tammy Williams with KelownaNow, and today we have two guests joining us. We have John Tyler Binfet from UBCO and a four-legged friend named Francis. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, pleasure to be here.
Now, there's a really interesting program going on with the B.A.R.K dogs and some young kids in the Valley. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, my job as a researcher at UBC is to, extend the parameters of what we're trying to do, and we have an established program now, year 7, with stress reduction with university students, and we had an opportunity, thanks to funding from TELUS, to work with students from the Okanagan Boys and Girls Club. 22 of them are bused from the Graham Street branch out to campus to work with therapy dogs and our students.
I mean, it must be such a thrill for the kids to be working with the dogs, but they're doing something pretty specific. It's not like it's a play date, so to speak.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. It's the program is called Building Confidence through K9's, and so these are young people in the community who want to sort of hone their social skills, and we use the dogs as a catalyst to developing those social skills. So a quick example of that is the students, for example, in week 2, I think, learn how to shake hands or paws with the dog, and then they take the dog out into the campus community and they introduce and practice those skills with university students. So it's unusual, it's innovative, it's different, and it's pretty wonderful.
Why do you think something like this is advantageous for the kids and for the research that you're doing as well?
It certainly extends the parameters of the research. We know that therapy dogs render the client or the children here at ease, and it just allows them to try things that they maybe would never try, right? They'd be hesitant to do. So we've seen evidence that it's working really, really well. We see these kids who just change the way they interact on campus, and then we're hoping that extends into the community. So there's a young researcher called Nicole Harris, who's a graduate student at UBC, a teacher in SD23, and she's doing the research behind this to really figure out, well, how do the dogs help kids with social skills?
And how are you finding that the dogs are helping the kids with social skills?
We see evidence. This is, I'll tell you, Tammy, it is such a gratifying job because I get feedback every day that it's doing good work, and we see kids who just light up, or kids who come out of their shells, or kids who take risks, right? And we really want kids to just practice at a young age how to interact, the things that you and I do so naturally that maybe they struggle with.
And I think the handshake one is such a neat example, because you and I were talking a little bit about that before the cameras started rolling. And is it a generational thing that we know how to shake hands? I don't know.
Well, we've got some great kids on campus, but we certainly have a lot of young people who it's not customary for them to shake hands. And so I find in my job, I'm a big handshaker, and so I kind of help prepare young people for the job world and the job market. And I think quick first impression, strong handshake, and eye contact is critical. So we practice that as part of it, and everybody on my team is pretty good at it at this point. And so we're just extending these kinds of skills that I think help us connect to other people.
Now let's talk a little bit about the dogs that are in the B.A.R.K program and their handlers. They're very specific, right?
Yeah, it's interesting. We do our own assessment of our dogs. We have 61 dogs certified in the program now, and we're very, very careful about the dogs that come in. I'm not looking for robots, so I'm not looking for an overly obedient dog. They certainly have to have certain a skill set. What's going on, love? Are you going to lie down?
Oh, no, she wants to sit up. She wants to be part of, Francis wants to be part of the conversation.
Down. Let's go down, good girl.
Good listening.
So,
good listening.
Yeah, she's good on a good day. She's a ham for the camera for sure. So we're looking for dogs with personality that connect with our students, but we're looking for handlers who actually are proactive in their governing of the dog. I do one thing I have 30 people on my team, and everybody votes on every dog and every handler who's in the program. And so we can have a dog who is super strong, but the handler doesn't pass. And then that's my job to deliver that news that the team will not be moving on. So they go through an assessment. They're on probation for 4 months. They come in short periods to get used to it. It's a lot to ask of these dogs. You've been to campus and you've seen how busy it is. So we want steady dogs who can connect with people.
So is the current program with the young kids that's happening now, do you see that as a testament to the evolution of the B.A.R.K program?
Yeah, great question. I hope, and if TELUS funds us again or somebody else steps up to fund us, we'll certainly extend that and broaden it. We have a lot of requests from the community for work with dogs and kids. And kids, I think, it's a natural connection there, but I think a lot of families are looking for structured programs where their children can participate in a meaningful way with dogs. And so we're trying to fill that niche a little bit in the community. And the other thing is UBC is committed to community-based work, right? And so this is a lovely partnership with the Okanagan Boys and Girls Club. We work often with Pause It Forward, a local dog rescue, so a lot of our dogs are from there. And this is from the Thompson Okanagan Community Board that's funded this, and they really see that need of gluing people together that might not otherwise come together.
I think Frances was watching Nick, our camera guy, pretty intently there. She was wondering what he was what he was up to.
Yeah.
So, what do you hope the kids that are currently in the program? What do you hope that they remember from their time with dogs like Frances in the B.A.R.K program?
They'll remember, I think, a lot of compassionate moments in the lab. We had a 3-legged dog from Taiwan as a guest visitor this week, and we talked about street dogs. And we did some perspective taking, what it would be like for dogs not to have a home and not to know where their meal's coming from and all this kind of stuff. And so we just talk about a variety of different issues that sort of extend the parameters of their understanding of dogs in society. And I think ultimately they understand most about themselves.
What do you hope next for the B.A.R.K program?
Well, we're in year 2 of the RCMP program. So with Brent Mundell, the superintendent of police chief at the RCMP detachment, we're doing a program there. I have a number of research students and a new student, Camille Rousseau, who's from Ottawa, and she's looking at possibly working with kids with autism and therapy dogs. So that's possibly coming down the pipeline for us. And then, of course, my primary commitment is to students on campus to support the well-being of university students at UBC, because we know students with lower stress do a better job as being students.
Yeah, some pretty awesome stuff. Yeah, so Frances waves, right?
Yeah, Frances,
Yeah.
you want to say goodbye to everybody?
Aw.
Say goodbye.
Say bye.
Oh, I know.
Aw. Thank you for joining us, John
Oh,
Tyler.
thank you, Tammy. Appreciate it.
And thank you for watching Kelowna Now.